Right, the last video tutorial we did was about managing the property system from the back end. Now we're going to do this through the front end, because this is probably where you're going to be most of the time. So I'm just going to log in here to the front end and go to My Properties. And you'll see here we have assets, which is the building basically, the hotel or the apartment, the room types, the reservations. Probably where you're going to be spending most of your time is reservations, but we'll go through the other two briefly as well. So for example, if I go into assets, I have one that I've created called Casablanca, and I can edit this here. The general information is just where it is, information about you, because of course you want to be notified when there's a reservation, your telephone number, etc. I haven't bothered updating the map coordinates, but of course you can do that. And some details about the reservation or the asset there. The publishing tab is where we spend most of our time. So we want to make sure we've got things like, is a deposit required? Is the deposit a percentage? In many cases, no deposit's required. You're taking the full amount online, or you're not taking anything at all and invoicing it later. And we'll come on to the reservations and how we invoice the clients in a moment. We'll see here we've got some terms of use, a privacy policy and a disclaimer. And I'm just going to link those in. So, privacy policy is there, which we've already created, and the disclaimer is there. So when somebody makes a reservation, there's a little tick box that asks them to agree to your terms and conditions. These are the articles that they are linked to. All the other elements don't need to be changed because I will have already configured those for you. But if you want to hide the details for the room and all the asset information, then just click Show Only the Reservations form. That way the user won't see anything about the room, they'll just be able to make a reservation, which to me is a little bit pointless. You want to sell the room and you want to have images there. We always enable coupons because this gives us an opportunity to give people discount if we want to. Showing the facilities and the policies, of course, lets people see what facilities are available and read the privacy policy, etc. I always enable inline check availability, and the reason for that is that when somebody looks at an asset or a room, they can actually select the dates there and then and just say, is there any availability on this room? Because there's a number of ways of searching. For example, we'll just go to a room now. So for example, we can use the quick search here, and it will immediately tell us what's available. We have properties in all of the assets. We can also go into an individual asset, and this is the inline check. So we can say, oh, we want these dates, and we have 6 guests. And that now will show up properties that are available for those dates. Now you see here it's saying there's no availability. It's still showing the asset even though it will only accommodate 4 guests. So if we go back to the publishing tab, you'll see here we've got additional notification emails. This is just in case you want to let anybody else know that a reservation has been made. And we've got the booking requires approval set in most cases. So somebody can make a reservation, it comes through, but you have to approve it. And the other fields you probably leave as they are. The only other tab you will probably play with here is media. You may want to add media, images. And that's quite easy. You just go up to the top here, click Media Manager. And if you haven't already got images installed, you can click and drag them up here and they will automatically be uploaded. or alternatively you can click the Add Files button, go find the files, and then click Start Upload, and it will upload the images. If an image is already there, you simply go into the image gallery, find the image, put a tick in the box, and click Insert, which I'm not going to do because we already have an image, and that will automatically insert an image for this asset. Others contains fields that you probably won't use other than facility. So if we go to facility, you can see we have a community pool there. Click Save and Close. I'm going to go back to my properties now. Click on Room Types. So I've got one twin suite in Casablanca, and I can edit that. Now what I'm doing is, rather than let the system allow users to pick the number of adults and children, I'm simply selecting the maximum occupancy of that room. Then what I'm doing is I'm setting the standard tariff. But we can also use the complex tariff. If we do use the complex tariff, it overrides the standard tariff here. So if I go into complex tariff, for example, we'll see that I've set one here for maximum nights 4, minimum 3, minimum people 1, maximum people 6, and that tariff runs from the 28th of September to the 21st of December. After that date, another tariff kicks in from the 22nd of December to the 5th of January at a higher rate, 10. The only other thing that we edit here is room. So we can have, if there's only one room, we only need to put one, or we can give the room a name. It's entirely up to us, and I'll show you how this appears in the reservation system in a moment. As with asset, we can add media, so we can add images, we can take them away, we just use the media manager. And it works exactly the same as it does for the asset. What I'm going to do now is go to where you're probably going to spend most of your time, in the reservations. So in the reservations area, we can see any reservation that's been made. We can change that reservation status very quickly. So we can say that they've checked in and click the tick to OK that. Or we can edit the reservation entirely by clicking the number. And here it will bring us the reservation and all the information associated with it, the pricing, etc. And we can preview the invoice. We can download the invoice. Open that. We can email the invoice to the client, or we can just generate the invoice. You'll see here it says that the invoice hasn't been sent. So if I generate that now, still not sent, click email. And then it says sent. So it's actually sent the invoice to the user. There you go. And I've received that invoice in my email inbox as well. One of the other things we can do when we're managing the reservation, we can put comments and add those and send those to the users. And I can notify the user via email. I can display it in the front end, which means it will display in my bookings, and just click submit. That's it, done. The user will receive an email and that will be updated in the front end. I'll go into more detail on this specific section in other tutorials, but for now that should keep you busy, and if you've got any questions, just get in touch.